Welcome back to Clear Talk. I'm your host, Armin Chaffee. This is my co-host,
Jeanette Oduro.
and this is the #1 show for coaches that want clarity in their business and in their mindset. The big question is, how do coaches like us, who started with nothing and risked everything to build a business around helping other people, how do we get our message out there in the marketplace, get clients consistently, all while making a huge difference in the world? That is the question, and this show will give you the answer. Welcome back. We go live every single Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time inside of our High Ticket Coaching Community Facebook group. So if you want to be a part of the live experience, then you got to make sure you're part of that group. All you got to do is request it, make sure you're a coach or aspiring to be in some way, and we will help you out. We'll let you into the group, and we give you lots of other goodies as well. Now, if you're watching on YouTube and you like videos around how to grow your coaching business, how to automate, autopilot, get clients consistently, and how to really just get to the next level in your business as a coach, then make sure you hit that subscribe button and that little notification bell so that you get notified every time we drop new videos every single week. We don't just drop Clear Talk videos. We drop free trainings for coaches. Yep. We drop value bites so that you get short versions of like quick answers for questions you might have in your business. What I'm trying to say is we bring the ocean of value in the coaching world. And so if you want to be a part of this community, a part of this movement, you got to make sure you hit that subscribe button or you join our Facebook group. Yeah, and we'll answer your questions live on the show if you are part of the live broadcast, the actual live stream in our group on Mondays at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. And if you want your questions answered on the show and want us to shout you out, all you got to do is go to
AskArmin.com.
And we will answer the questions you submit. That makes sense?
Yes.
Great. So here's how this works. You ask questions, I answer them with Jay. And so we have questions here. Of course we got questions.
Always.
So we're going to have some fun.
Absolutely. Maria is the first comment today. She said she was waiting for us.
We're sorry for making you wait.
Sorry for making you wait. But awesome. Thank you for being the first person to comment. If you're with us here live, go ahead and hashtag live in the comments. You know, if you're watching the replay, when you're watching the replay, go ahead and hashtag replay in the comments, guys. So, ready to get started?
I am.
Okay, cool. First question for today. I can't sit online all day and create conversations with people on social media. How can I qualify people quicker without spending hours talking to them? That question is from Jennifer G.
Good question. So it depends on the method you're using. If you're using a purely organic method where you're just talking to people, it's going to take time, right? The only thing you could do to qualify a person more effectively, I don't know if it'll be faster or less time. You might still, if you're not running ads, you're going to be spending time talking to people. Right. But if you want to qualify people before a call better, then what you need is something called a pre-call process. And in the pre-call process, you have a piece of content or something that they can watch or go through that will not only sell them on the idea of what you do and why it works so well, but also it answers most of their questions that they might have before working with you. So, you know, some pre-call process content could be like a webinar. Yeah. It could be a VSL. Difference between a webinar would be webinars are 45 to 60 minutes long. And they usually cover like multiple different false beliefs or misconceptions that you might have, the prospect might have, and you overcome them. Plus you tell a story so they get to know you better. It's a more long form video selling. Yeah. A VSL is a video sales letter. It's a shorter version. Yeah. And it's usually anywhere from 8 to 12 minutes, could be 15 minutes, but usually up to 15 minutes. And that one has barely any stories. There's not really many false beliefs or framed. More so, it's just like, here's what you're doing wrong, and here's what you got to do. So book a call and we'll talk about it. Yeah. So it's more of a direct pitch. And then there's a new form of content that I think we've totally invented recently. I'm calling it the mini webinar. And it's a mix between VSL and webinar where it's around 30 minutes, so right 25 to 30 minutes. Yeah. it has elements of stories, but the content is more of a VSL. So you're still telling them what they have to do and what they shouldn't do, right? But you tell a little bit more stories, and instead of telling like your story and all this stuff, you just make sure they know you're credible, and then you give short stories to get the point across, so that they're still being reframed their beliefs around what they got to do and what they got to not do. So that's what we're trying right now. Apparently, it's working well so far. And when we prove that this mini webinar concept is better than a webinar or a VSL, you already know what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn it into an entire training, give my entire template to all my students in my program so they can duplicate.
Absolutely.
So having something like that prior to a call is very important. It's not always the best thing to send right away. Maybe someone's hot.
Yeah.
I remember someone messaged me last week. They hopped into our program. His name was Quan. Actually, it's funny because he watched the mini webinar. So, and then he hit me up. He's like, "Man, just take my money." I'm like, "Sure."
Decision makers, baby.
Let's get on the call. Let me make sure you're fit. And literally within 20 minutes, he signed up for speaking at clients. That was the fastest person I've ever had.
And he's been moving like lightning.
Which is why 2 days in the program.
He's moving so
within
fast.
2 days in the program, he's gone through 3 modules. By the way, that goes to show how easy it is to consume our program.
Absolutely.
Goes through the entire 3 modules out of 7 or out of 8.
Yeah.
Built an entire lead magnet, a free guide. He built his audience growth funnel. Set up his ads for that.
Nuts.
Set up his email automation, everything. Started to grow his audience. Yeah. And it's 2 days in.
Insane.
We had to create an entire award for him called the Flash Award. We made an entire category of awards just for someone like him because he had to afford. I'm like, we have to give away awards for how fast people get things done.
Absolutely.
And then I realized how many other people have done some things in a flash time.
Yeah.
Like the fastest we've had students we've had to entire business with Daniel, 8 weeks. When I say entire business, I'm not like he has an offer. I mean, like he built an offer, built his program, built an entire group to 400 people, built his email list, ran his ass, validated his offer, got his first paying clients, built his online program, his webinar, everything.
Did beta. Just nuts.
Fastest person to get to $20,000 in sales, and that's still in beta too, was Eric and Brian, the Zab twins.
Shout out to Zab twins.
Weeks. 3 weeks coming into our program. Actually, to be fair, like I said 3 weeks, I added a week. They actually came in like beginning of February. For 2 weeks, they did nothing. Yeah. Because they were busy with their own old stuff they were doing.
They said we're not starting till March. I'm like, all right, do your thing.
Then they go in like 2 weeks into like February or something like that, and they're like, we started watching the sales training. They just skipped to the sales part.
Yeah. Which is in module 5.
Yeah. So they went straight to the sales training, and then they took the script in the training, and they went out over the next 2 weeks and closed $20,000 in sales. That's USD. So if you're in Canada, that's like $25,000. So and that was in 2 weeks. So I said 3. I'm like, maybe it took a week to learn. So it's okay. But still, fastest. Really, it's to 2 weeks, but 20K in 2 weeks. Fastest at 20K. Now again, they already had an offer. They already had an audience. We just showed them how to train. So everyone's different, right? Fastest to get to 30 booked calls. Getting 30 calls booked was Christian. He did in 2 weeks coming into our program. He had the fastest to get to 10 calls booked. Yeah. We didn't even have an award for booking calls, but it's not that easy. And his guy got 10 in 24 hours. Yeah. Right, but I'm like, I'll get 30 in 2 weeks, so that's pretty good. And my point is, Quan watched the VSL, the mini webinar, and he was like, "Let's go." So pre-call process is very important. Now, here's the thing: sometimes when you're talking to someone in the chat, they're already hot. You just get on the call. Mm-hmm. They're maybe ready to go. They haven't watched anything. Other times, if you know people got to get nurtured and qualified, you got to send them something. Okay. Now, here's the thing: I've signed up for a $30,000 mastermind because of one video. Yeah, so this is the power of having a pre-call process. I think the mistake is if you have a refined offer and you're good to go, I think the mistake would be trying to take someone from a chat straight to a sales call with nothing else. That's if you have your entire business built, so you're just generating book calls to sale. Maybe you're in a different phase, like you need to do that to get free coaching clients, or you need to do that to get beta clients. In that case, you might not have all these things. So I'm not saying at that point. That point, it's okay to go from DM chat to call. Okay, that's what we do for validating offers and doing beta in our program. Yeah. But I'm saying if your business is established, you got content, you got your program, you got everything set up. You just got to get book calls and close calls. Then it is vital to have something to send them, so you have a pre-call process. Now I signed up for a $30,000 mastermind, and the guy literally just messaged me, DM'd me. Okay, hey, I saw that you were in this group, blah blah blah, and I'm just curious where you're at in your business. I'm like, we're at, 100 or so. He goes, so your next goal is $250,000 a month. I'm like, yeah we did 100, so now I want to go higher. He goes, great. Well, why don't we chat for 15 minutes on the phone? And I definitely think you'd be a fit for our mastermind. And I said, well, I don't know, man. Like, can you tell me what you guys do? Like, what else could you really teach me? Because I've scaled to 100, like, knowing what I know. Is there anything else I don't know? He goes, well, let me send you a video. He's like, let's book a call and we'll talk about it. And I'm like, sure. So we booked a 15-minute chat. I'm like, why not? You know, these guys are one of the best in the market, they say. And so he's like, watch this video before our call.
Yeah.
So he sends me this video of a recording of a mastermind that they did, okay? And it was about an hour and a half or something. And they were explaining pretty much the bird's eye view of going from 0 to 500 grand a month. Mm-hmm. And I remember seeing that, and I'm like, man, these guys know what they're talking about. And what they were talking about between 0 to 100, 0 to 30, 30 to 100 and all that, I'm like, it's pretty true because I just went through it. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, 100 to 250 is something they already know what's ahead of me, and 250 to 5 and 5 to a mil.
Yeah.
I'm like, this video alone convinced me that they can help. Exactly. And I got on the call, and it was like a 10-minute call, and I signed up for a $30,000 mastermind. So the power of having a pre-call process, and the process could be anything. It could be a PDF, it could be a video, but something. The most powerful form is a video, sales video, or some type of video, like value video, I think will sell the prospect on working with you.
Yes.
Like on that you can help. Another form of a pre-call process, and we have both in ours, is a homework video. But a homework video usually comes after they book a call. Yes. So even when we do organic, and we do some organic in our business as well, we run ads. That's where a majority of our calls come from. But sometimes we do organic, and we might skip them the webinar. But before the call and after booking the call, but before the actual call, there's a homework video. Yeah. And so a webinar, a mini webinar VSL, is responsible to convince the prospect of your method. So of how you're going to get the result for them. That's what the purpose of that pre-call video is. Okay. Yeah. But the second form of video in your pre-call process is a homework video. And this is how we teach it. And the homework video's purpose is to sell them on your program for executing that method. So I'm going to say it again.
Please.
I wish I had an iPad. When are we going to get this iPad?
I had it here and then I took it home.
When are we going to do this? I wish I could draw right now on the screen.
I'm going to bring it next week.
Come on, man.
Remind me next week.
You know how crazy this training would be right now? I would like map everything out.
It would be greasy?
No, I said crazy.
Oh, I thought you said greasy.
Do you think I'm a Scarborough man? I grew up in the ghetto.
I thought you said it'd be greasy. I'm like, whoa, where'd that come from? Go ahead.
I grew up with the Mandems when I was in high school. Greasy. So,
speaking of Mandem, I actually saw what's it called? That your friend from a while ago. I forgot his name.
Oh, my friend from a while ago. That narrows it down.
The one in Saudi Arabia.
Ahmed.
Hey,
yeah, you saw him? Yeah. Where?
We were with Mustafa the other day. He said to say hi. Interesting. He admires you.
Hi, Ahmed.
Yeah, man. AC, yeah, he was a good kid. Okay, so think of it like this.
Yeah.
I talked to you. Okay, I talked to you. Mm-hmm. Next step is you want to get on a call. Okay, no problem. Maybe prior to that, getting on a call, watch this video. Yeah. And then book a call, right? So sometimes I do that. Sometimes the conversation is different. Maybe we go straight to a call. Yeah. Depends. Yeah. Depends on where they're at. Yeah. So you got to know. You got to know your process and your prospect. But let's just say they go straight to booking a call. They book a call from the chat. After the call is booked, in that funnel, there's a homework video. Watch this before a call. The homework video is a 15 to 20-minute video, short, breaking down your program. The program, you're going to sell them on the program there. Okay. And here's the secret. You ready for this? I'm giving you guys some valuable stuff. Okay, some really good hacks. The key is to sell the prospect on your program before the call, not on the call. And if you try to sell on the call, your closing ratio significantly drops. And here's why. And I'm going to just explain to you in the simplest terms. Yeah. In the art of sales, when you're in a conversation, and it's a live conversation, and I give you a suggestion, your ego and your mind, the prospect, has a reflex to oppose. Yeah. So if I say, do this program, your reflex, whether it's a good idea or not, or if you want to or not, is to be like, well, I don't know. Yeah. Okay? Now, there's closing training we give, sales training we give on how to reverse that. But still, imagine if I didn't have to dump all the information in my program in her mind on the call. Imagine. Because here's the thing. A sales call, a strategy sessions, whatever you call them, essentially how it actually works is this. The prospect comes with a mind, like a container, okay, full of thoughts, water. And what people traditionally do is they come and they fill more water They give more information in the guy's mind or the girl's mind. And this thing starts overflowing. That's what we call overwhelm, and that's how a prospect goes, I'll think about it. Okay? That's literally how you get a prospect to go, I'll think about it. Because you feel more information in their already filled mind, and now they're like, I can't make a decision now. Look how much I have to think about.
Absolutely.
I have a full cup. Okay. The art of actual closing and not selling, so the art of not pushing the sale on, but pulling them into your sale, is by poking holes in the bottom of this container so that the water drips out. And eventually their mind becomes empty. They have nothing to think about. Now, how do you do that? Not only do you answer the questions prior to the call, but you ask them questions during the call so that they pour out their thoughts. But when you pour your thoughts into theirs, it mixes with their thoughts, and now they have all these thoughts to think about. And even if it's a perfect idea, if you ever got a prospect, you're on a call, and they're like, this sounds perfect for me.
Yeah.
I'm going to sleep on it. That's why.
Yeah. Wow.
Because you genuinely, that's not always why, but I'm saying majority of the time,
totally.
is because you genuinely gave them something to think about. But the art of a real a closing call is you give them nothing to think about.
Yeah.
Is you're pulling out everything from them so they feel like nothing's left to do other than
make a decision.
That's it. So when you have a pre-call process, it empties half that cup, most of it, because all the questions they did have is answered in the videos.
Yeah.
Will this work? Can this work? Oh, look at these testimonials. Oh, this program is for me. All these things empty their minds. So by the time they get on the call, they have a few more questions left, and really, you're just gauging with them if they're fit.
Yeah.
And what's their motivation behind doing this?
Yeah.
Not if it's going to work. Here's the thing. Okay, ready for this? Woo! Gonna drop something for you.
Do you want to use it?
No. Gonna drop something for you. Ready for this? If the prospect on the call, okay, questions if your program or you will work for them, that's because you didn't have a pre-call process that showed them otherwise. What I mean by that is this. You're still behind if the prospect still believes that it might not work for them. Yeah. A really strong sales process from chat to webinar or whatever, to homework video to book call, whatever, is every skepticism in their mind is removed. Other than them just making a decision, trusting themselves. How do you do that in your pre-call process? Not on the call.
Yeah.
You answer the question, will this work? By showing endless case studies and success stories.
Yeah.
Of course it will work. It works for them. Why wouldn't it work for you? You answer the questions of, will this method work for them? By making really good video that explains how your method works and why it works so well. Yeah. And why it's better than what they're doing. Yeah. So is this better than what I'm doing? Yes, it is. You answer the question, well, am I credible to help? Well, look at my success. So by the time they talk with you on a call, it's actually just a strategy session to find out what's holding them back in their life and in their business or whatever. And why do they want to do this so bad? Is it worth the investment? That's literally it. So my point is, the better way to qualify is to have a pre-call process. Now, that's not as simple as like, I'm going to put up a funnel in a video. I can't tell you a simple way to do this. You have to either get a really good VSL mini webinar or webinar. Mini webinars, trademark, not real yet. So we don't know yet. I'm going to let you guys know maybe next Clear Talk.
Yeah.
Or a month from now. But having a homework video, having a process that's clean, having case study testimonials, and if you don't, you shouldn't be trying to sell. You should be out there free coaching, stacking up testimonials, right? So you have the confidence to sell. Now, if you have an offer that already sell case studies, but you're not showing your case studies, oh my God, you are missing out. Right now, if you go to highticketcoaching.com and opt into my mini webinar, my mini training, you're going to get emails for the next 2 weeks, every day, of a case study we have. You don't believe me? Go try. Go to highticketcoaching.com, opt in, and watch your email, your inbox for the next 14 days.
Yep. We're
going to send you an email of someone who had a major success in our program. That's powerful. I think that's the highest form of nurturing content. Because what is more believable, more credible, and more convincing than a series of actual people who got results?
Yep.
Nothing. A training video can't beat that. A nice marketing, me being in having a book can't beat that. None of this can beat. Look at all these people I helped.
Yeah.
Get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's work your way to that. Even when my clients, when I work with them, the coaches in my program, I'll be like, how many case study interviews do you have? They're like 3. I'm like, you need 30. Go to work. Go help your clients, get more clients, help them get more results. Because when you start results stacking, no one can deny if your shit will work or if you will work. So now the question is, do you want it to work for you? So I gave you that golden nugget, but here it is. If you're on a call and you're still debating with the prospect whether this will work, you got some work to do.
Yeah.
You got to aim to get to a point where the prospect has nothing left to think about other than, do I want this to now work for me? Because it's working, and it's working for him and other people. Do I want it to work for me? That's the key.
Yeah. But in reference to qualifying people in the messaging, how would you suggest that?
Send them a video. That's what this whole point of the answer.
But she's just going to send it to them, then get on the call, and then follow up?
Oh, you mean in the chat?
Yeah. She's in the DMs. Let me repeat the question.
Yeah.
I can't sit online all day and create conversations with people on social media. How can I qualify people quicker without spending hours talking to them?
I just said.
But she's currently talking to them. If she's already in conversation, she's just got to send the video, make the video.
What she's doing is, what it sounds like is that this person is using the chat as the qualifying process, which could be very long. Mm-hmm. It could be really lengthy because they got to ask 5, 7, 8 questions, and they got to give me paragraph answers back, and I have to talk to them before they have the emotional equity to want to actually spend time with me on a call. Mm-hmm. That could be very long and drawn out. Okay. You do a couple, 2, 3 steps of questions like, hey, what's your goal? Awesome. What's holding you back? What's holding you back? What do you think you need? Okay, cool. If I sent you a video, I think I got a video that could help you out. If I sent you this video about how to fix this and how I help others, would you want to watch it? Yeah, I would. Okay, awesome. Here's the video. And the video will do the rest of the work. Mm-hmm. Whether it's a mini webinar, VSL, training, whatever it is. Maybe it could just be a lesson from your program. It could be a YouTube video. And then there's a call to action, book a call. Cool. If they don't book a call, video wasn't good. Or they weren't qualified. If they do, it was good. Awesome. So I think what I'll say is the breakdown of the only 3 questions I think matter. If you're going to do a really quick version of a qualifying chat DM, this is what I do when I do. And again, we have a more extensive process in our program. Lauren does our organic marketing coaching with our clients, and she has an actual high-ticket messenger script that we help people with. Perfect. And it's a little bit more extensive than what I just said, but that's also going to be customized every time with what offer you have and how. So what I'm saying is the dumbed-down version, simplified version of it is, hey, what's your goal with this? What's holding you back? What do you think is holding back, and what do you think you need? Because that's telling us, what do they want? What's their problem? And what do they want from me? Yeah. And if all those align, I go, okay, cool, here's this video, or let's get on a call, or this, that should give you enough information to know what to do. And I'm doing that right now. I'm talking to someone right now. They have a stock trading program. And I'm like, and they're like, can you give me some advice on some of my coaching? I'm like, first tell me, what's your goal with your business? And he didn't give me really a straight answer back. I don't know how to answer. So I'm like, all right, well, what do you think is holding you back? And still, I don't understand your goal. And so if he says, I want to do this much, get from here to here, and I am overworked, I'm overworked because my way of getting clients is too time consuming. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I already know everything I need to know. You want to get here. And the reason why you're not is here. I'm like, so what do you want? How, what do you think you need to get there? Yeah. I need automation. Okay, I'm like, great. Sent you a video on how to do this. Would you watch it? Boom. That's all I need. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's an oversimplified version of a conversation.
Love that. Okay, so Marie said in the comments the microphone drop. Or did she mean microphone drop?
Yeah, I think she meant
microphone. Okay, cool. Got it. We also have we got a question in the comments. We got a question in the comments from Ian. Ian says, how do you ask for a testimonial?
Ooh, that's a good question. First of all, the secret is not asking when you're done, asking before you're done. Okay? If you don't pre-frame for the testimonial, it's going to be awkward when you ask for it. Okay? So in the beginning, if you're doing a free client or a paid clients, it should be you should make it implied. All my clients that come in when they sign the agreement to work with us, there's a media release form. We're going to capture results that you get, and we want to inspire other people with it. Yep. You better be okay with it. Yep. And we do it obviously with privacy ethics. I'm not gonna take something that's absolutely not supposed to be shown and show it. Yeah. But obvious things I got a client, mm-hmm. I launched my bit, those are okay. Mm-hmm. So from the beginning the context set of course we show results, but also in my specific field it's a tad easier because I'm also teaching how to do that. So it's why would you not do it? Of course. But I've been in other coaching, sold other programs before around not business, and it gets a little weird, right? Like if you ask her. So the goal is to pre-frame. So before I actually do it, I just say, hey, so off the bat, let's say I'm doing a coaching session, just one-on-one. Hey, so off the bat, I just want to let you know, usually I charge for this, and I'm not. It's a free client. If it's a paid client, usually I love to inspire other people with breakthroughs. You're okay with that, right? But of course, why would no one's gonna be like, I don't want you to inspire people, so you frame it properly. I'm gonna inspire the people that this is possible if I help you break through or get a result here. Okay, cool. Well, so at the end of the session, if I did get you results, I'm just wondering, would it be cool if you to give me an honest test? I always say honest because I don't want you to pretend if it's crap, give me a testimonial that it's crap.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll work on myself, right?
Yeah.
Give me an honest testimonial about how I helped you. Would that be cool with you? And they're always going to go, yeah. Now, the moment they say yeah there, it's completely unawkward now at the end of the call when you ask for it.
Yeah.
Okay, so make sure you pre-frame. And then when it gets to it, you simply, you just go, awesome. So did you have a good time? What I do is I ask multiple yes questions before I ask for the testimonial. So they're in a yes state and they know what I just did for them.
Yeah.
So cool. Do you guys feel clear? Yeah, we do feel clear. So I'll tell you an example of what I just did, actually. Last month, I did coaching with the number one dating coaches in the industry. They have a YouTube channel called The Attractive Man, and they've been in business for over 10 years. And they wanted to go to they wanted 6 figures a month, and they wanted to go high ticket, restructure their offer. And I was recommended to them as a coach. And so I got on calls, and I got on 2 coaching calls with them, and I told them off the bat, hey, man, look, usually I charge a lot of money for this. I'm going to do something special for you. But in exchange for that, if it's cool with you, if I get your result, can you give me an honest testimonial at the end? And they're like, yeah, that's fair. Mm-hmm. I'm like, great, but don't give me one if it's not good. And they're like, okay, no problem. So we did a couple coaching calls, and they were blown away. Dude, we've been in business for 10 years. We paid some of the biggest people in the industry, and nothing has been more simple and more applicable and as valuable as this. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, cool, man. Okay, so, and then I just give a tiny training on how to give me the testimonial. So I asked for 2. So this is your answer now. I asked for 2. A written one, a screenshot written one, and a video. Okay? Now, if I had to choose one, I would actually like the screenshot one better. Because the screenshot one, them saying quickly what the result I helped them produce, and I could screenshot that over a text, not an email or written, not that. I mean they text me or they message me. I can screenshot it. That's the most realistic form of a testimonial because that's a real person talking to me over a messenger chat. You don't that's way more personable and relatable to the average person. They'll be like, of course, this is Messenger. It's Facebook Messenger. Look at you message them that. Yeah. I can use that in webinars, in videos, on funnel pages, in emails. A video testimonial is a little more restricted. I can't just use it in a webinar because it's a bad idea to play video in the middle of a momentous webinar. If I put it on a funnel page, it's if they play and watch it. So not always will they hear the whole testimonial. Yeah. And I can't put it on inside of things like PDFs, but I can put screenshots for days. So I'd rather screenshots if I had to choose, but I asked for both, and they gave me both. So I told his name was Matt. He's actually on if you go to hatticketcoaching.com and opt in, he's I think the first video up there because video was so good. It was 2.5 minutes. The guy it was one of the best testimonials I've ever gotten. And so I was really grateful. Yeah, so he texted me one. He's like, dude, man, thank you so much. We're so clear on our offer, blah, 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 blah. He's like, we got results. We got this result. Thank you so much, Armin. That's simple. So screenshots, hey, name, hey, Ian, I just want to thank you again. Working with you got me this result. Yeah. Got me really clear on my goals. Got me over my depression. Got me over this. Got me a client. It's a result. Whatever result you got them. And then just giving a couple emojis thanks again, man. So that's a really genuine screenshot testimonial. Video testimonials, you just follow this simple. Now we have actual video. We have a testimonial script that we give our coaches to also use in their business. But it's a whole PDF. So how to actually do a video and interview. And so those questions are what you'd use. But here's a simplified version of it. Essentially, they just start with introducing themselves, saying what they were struggling with before working with you, saying what they love most about working with you, and then saying what they got as a result from working with you. Yep. And then the last thing I always love to add in is, and I ask them, what would you say to the person on the fence watching this video? That's it. So I'm going to say that one more time. Introduction, who are you? And go ahead. I'm going to say this one more time. Introduction, who am I and what do I do? So, hey, my name is Armin Shaffi, and I'm the creator of Speaking and Clients, founder of HighTicketCoaching.com. I'm what was I struggling with before working with Ian? Let's just say I go, Before working with Ian, I was finding myself really hard to wake up in the mornings and just feeling motivated again about I'm just making this up. Okay. Feeling motivated again about my goals, and I'd hit a plateau in my business, and I just didn't know how to get over it. Well, what was obviously the questions would be thing they would have to know what to say. You can send them a question, like 5 questions in a text. And while I was working with Ian, I really loved how simple everything was and how well he connected with me and understood my problems. And now, as a result from working with him, I've literally woken up earlier and I've got twice as much done before 10 a.m. every single day. And that's something I've been aiming to do every single day for the last 3 years. Thanks again, Ian. By the way, if you're watching this and you're on the fence about working with Ian, make sure you give him a call because you have nothing to lose. And I honestly was skeptical, but after working with him, I realized I was just wasting time not working with him. That right there is like a 30-second testimonial that would blow your competitors out of the water.
Yeah.
Okay? So that's how you get testimonials. First of all, pre-fame for them, so it's not awkward when you ask. Second, that's how you ask for it. There's 2 types, testimonial screenshots, and then there's videos. And then the ultimate form is an interview, but that's not a testimonial anymore. It's it's a case study, right? You're interviewing someone, you ask the questions. That's the best form of it.
Yeah.
And then, and we have 15, 16? That's
Interviews?
Yeah.
Yeah.
16 maybe. And that's we're lazy on this, so we got to get back and get it. It's probably another 15 just sitting there.
Yeah.
We'll get more.
Yeah.
And that's it. So one last thing is, if you're going to get the screenshot or video testimonial, get it on the call with them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Do not hang up your session and then wait for them to send it. Life happens. Okay? I am ruthless with that. I'm like, yeah, send it right now. I'll be like, send it right now.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for it.
And then you'll be like, but that's a little awkward. No. You're not going to get it if they don't send it right now. I'm telling you that. Yeah, here. And if they're really bad at it, write it for them. Be like, what do you think I did for you? Okay, write it out. Just text it to them. Text me back. Text me this back. Because it's true, they said it, but you wrote it in a way that looks better to screenshot. So you put some emojis in there, and you say their words. I'm like, just send it back to me, and then I just screenshot that. Right? I've done that sometimes because people are they either make it really long or really short, or they it's ugly. I'm like, write this,
Yeah.
But get it on the call. If you're on Zoom, be like, yeah, can you send it right now? It's really simple. Here's how you do it. And with Matt and his partner, I actually just I picked up my phone. I'm like, here's how you should do it. Hey guys, my name's Matt. And I just did it in front of them for a second. So they go, okay, I got it. And then they did their own version and whatever. So I will get it on the call. Now if it's on Zoom, it's already recording. So just ask them. Yeah, so let me ask you a question, man. What were you struggling with before? What did you love about working with me the most? And they'll just answer. And that one part you could cut out.
Yeah.
Can I use that? Yeah. Just take that right there. Okay? Make sure you get it on Zikal.
On Zikal. Ian said thanks.
Hope that answers the question.
Yeah.
Good question.
Question number 3. I got targeted by your ads. And
Any comments?
Well, yes, a lot. Marie.
Bring your comments in. Don't worry about our
Marie.
questions.
Well, Ian said thank you for answering his question.
Good.
Marie is just telling me why I misconstrued her dropped mic comment.
You ain't dropping no mics in here. Come on, man.
English is not her first language. And she said that this person who asked the first question, Jennifer, she needed to create a video or anything else or a case study to send them before she speaks to them. I love this methodology. It's know how to apply it. It's different stories.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so our next question. I get targeted by your ads and the copy is always so well written. How do I write engaging ad copy? That question is from Antonio R.
You join speaking at clients. Next question. I'm not joking. Okay, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. There are a few things in business you can't just learn. Because it's not a learning thing.
Yeah.
It's a mastering process. Okay? Sales is one of them. You can't take a course. Isaiah, how long have you been studying sales?
It's been 9 months now.
9 months, right?
9 months, yeah.
Okay. 9 months. Didn't you take a course 9 months ago?
Yeah.
Okay. Did that make you a good salesperson? No. Did you buy more courses and read books?
Yeah.
Learn. How many books have you read on sales?
I'll say 7 so far.
7 books. And this guy doesn't read. He studies them.
Yeah,
Okay. You've hired, you've literally bought courses, everything.
I just bought a course. It's not a course, mentorship.
Okay. What do you, out of that, but you've also hired coaching, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've also worked with you one-on-one. Okay. What, out of all the things you've done to get good at selling and actually getting results in sales, what was the most impactful thing you did? Actually doing it? Obviously doing it. I'm saying that helped you do it better.
That helped me do it better.
Was it learning?
Honestly.
Was it a course, a book, a coach, or a mentor? Which one actually accelerated you?
A mentor.
Yeah.
And me calls.
Which means what? Which means what? I'm going to answer the question. You're saying that it was looking at my own calls, working with the mentor, and practicing. Okay. That means sales is not something you can.
Oh, it's definitely something you cannot learn.
You can't just learn sales.
Yeah, because there's stuff that you don't know.
Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't even matter if you know. How much did you think you knew about sales when you were done the first course you
I
bought?
thought I knew something. I thought I met Callie, and I'm like, man, I've only dipped my toe into sales.
He bought Dan Locke's.
Toenail,
Yeah.
maybe.
My
He,
toenail,
he, he,
exactly.
he bought Dan Locke's high ticket closing course.
Yeah.
It's a surface.
And then
It's a
he's
high-ticket
like, I'm a high ticket closer. And I'm like, he ain't nothing.
I'm
I'm like, come role play with me. He role played. How was our first ever role play? Yeah. Our first ever role play. I'm like listening to him. He's like trying to do the things he just learned. I'm like, dude, you're never going to be a good salesperson or closer from learning things.
Yeah.
You're only going to become extraordinary from doing it and practicing and mastering it with someone.
Yeah.
Okay. That's one thing in business you cannot buy a course on. That's why our coaches do so well at closing. That's why how we took this Eric and Brian from closing 6%, 1 out of 15 calls they were closing before my program. We gave them sales training and video training and coaching on their sales. So we mastered and we gave them a better method. And they went from closing 1 out of 15 to closing 10 out of 15. The 10x close rate. They literally 10x'd their closing rate and made 20 grand. My point is this. That was because of process of coaching. It wasn't just because of one simple, like, I learned something. No. You have to work on it. That's one thing. It's something you cannot learn. You got to master, which means you need to join a program where you get coaching continuously. It'll take months for you to get better at it. You think I was good at the first time? Hell no. Second thing in business you cannot learn, you have to master, is copywriting.
Yeah.
You guys think you can learn copywriting. No, you can't. Copywriting is sales in written form. It's literally the same thing. So writing good ad copy, email copy, posts on organic copy, or funnel pages, sales copy, no. Some of you got to get better at. And if you don't have someone who's really good at it to continuously work, coach, and mentor you on it, you will never get that good.
Yeah.
You will never. Because you can't. What I'm trying to say is it's not a one-stop shop. Buy this thing. Oh, I'm good enough.
Yeah.
No. It takes months. With that being said, there's no direct way to answer this question. Because that, even if I gave you the knowledge on how, you'd still go and either do it wrong, do it with bad habits, or not do it. Get the point. It is a continuous coaching process. Does that make sense? So with that being said, like, you can read the question one more time, and I'll answer it to my best of my ability. But you actually got to work with someone or people that are really good at it.
Yeah.
To continuously look at everything you write and go, that's what you're doing wrong. That's what you're doing wrong. That's what how sales works.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what you did wrong on this call. That's what you did. And that makes you better.
Yeah.
Not learning. More information on how to do this stuff isn't going to change the game for you. So read it one more time. I'll make sure I answer it to the best of my ability.
Awesome. So he says, I get targeted by your ads and the copy is always so well written. How do I write engaging ad copy?
So the goal is not engaging. The goal is converting.
Great point.
My ads don't, some of them get really good engagement, some of them never, but they get great opt-ins. They convert well. They get good clicks. On YouTube, on my channel, I have a video, Copywriting for Coaches, and I break down the method I always use, and it's from Russell Brunson, and it's called Hook Story Offer. Now, knowing Hook Story Offer is not enough, because you could do it crappy.
Yeah.
Getting better at it is called mastering, and that's what I'm really good at helping my coaches with. Hook Story Offer is just a simple method where you start every written piece of work with a hook that identifies with your specific niche and a pain or desire that they're looking to get, okay, or to solve. Then you tell a story that convinces them of some form of a new way or alternative path to what they're trying. And then you finish it with an offer. And the offer isn't always a sale. It could be a book call. It could be watch this webinar. It could be comment below if you agree. It could be a simple have a great day and like think about this. My point is you give them something to do after, okay? Hook story offer. And every story is broken down into a simple thing. The character starts with some form of current situation. I was in this old situation. I was faced with this problem. I had this goal, and here was my plan. Here's why the plan didn't work. Here's the solution I found to fix that. And here's the moral of the story, which is the solution is the key to how to fix your problem. And so the offer becomes at the end of that story, work with me on getting the solution. Yeah. I just literally broke down in, I think, 35 seconds my entire video and
35 seconds,
copyright.
yeah.
Now, do you see how that doesn't make a difference? Because you're going to get that. It's either going to go over your head or you're going to be like, oh, I get it. Oh, and then go write a really bad story.
Yeah.
You have to work with someone that's really good, okay? You got to, if you're serious about making money, if you hate money, don't do this. If you want to make money, get coaching and mentorship on copywriting and sales, okay? Those two things you cannot. And leadership is the other thing. You can't just learn leadership or management or leading people.
Trust me.
It's something you got to master.
Absolutely.
Those three things, I think, sales, copywriting, and leadership are things you must get continuous coaching and mentorship on. You cannot learn. It's not a course. It's not a course. So, anyways, that's the breakdown. If you want more information on copywriting, go to my channel, hit subscribe, leave a comment, leave some love down below, and
Lauren put it in the comments, y'all.
yeah. And then just go watch Copywriting Coaches. Yeah, actually, we could put it there. There it is.
She already did it. Lauren, you're on the money, darling.
Click play after this video is done.
Yeah, don't leave now. You're here with us. Okay.
But you're
Comments?
right though, because there's so much like I did not know.
Yeah.
Like even after like getting it from Dan Locke, I thought like I knew it. I knew all this techniques. I'm like, okay, let's go.
Yeah, you're so.
By the way,
cute.
how many things did you have to unlearn?
So many things. I wouldn't. It's
He
not.
came to me. I heard some of his recordings on some of the first sales calls I gave to him. I'm like, is this some shit you learned from Dan Locke? He said some bullshit. Like, I'm like, what is this? He started laughing, and I'm like, we have to unlearn half the stuff you've learned. You know. Again, of course, like, it got you started though. So
yeah,
that's good.
because like you learn all. Like I could give you. You always say this. Like I could give you like the map. I could give you everything.
Yeah.
Like the step-by-step process. And then is the person doing it.
Yeah.
Because I could give you I use this same sentence and I close $1 million deal. I could give that same sentence to like someone like me, and I'll never be able to do it because I started to understand it's not the words, it's not the techniques, it's the man behind like the vehicle basically.
Yeah.
Is your intention behind it? Like,
So much, man.
There's so many things.
Here's another way to drive the point home why you can't learn sales, copywriting, leadership, and it's something you must master. Like, for example, if I learn how to build a website in code, I can learn that and it's over.
Yeah.
If I learn how to record videos, I can learn that and it's over. Right? But those are like one-step skills. Like, you learn it, and now you do it.
Yeah.
Like, I learned how to run an ad. You don't have to master how to run an ad. You run an ad. It's a how do I explain this? It's actually a good point. Like separating. So is it soft and hard skills? No, it's not. It's like simple skills. Oh, okay. Simple skills just require learning, and you do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like transactional skills.
Sure.
But transformational skills turn you into a different person. That means you cannot learn. You have to master. Is that good?
Ooh,
So
I like that.
transactional skill is like I learn, I do.
I like that.
Transformational skill is I learn, I morph into something, I transform with this.
I learn, I adapt.
I adapt, I grow, I become something.
I love that.
Okay. So here's another reason. There's too many changing variables in a
Facts.
transformational skill like sales, leadership, like copywriting.
Facts.
Right?
Absolutely.
There's too many changing variables.
Definitely.
For you to think it's like once. In fact, it's foolish to think I've learned it now.
True.
Yes. Now everyone else is gonna be you who doesn't think that way.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. I'm continuously growing, getting better at selling, copywriting, leadership every day. I read every morning on myself and leadership, on understanding people. I'm always improving. It's something you continuously do. So don't treat transformational skills the same way you treat transactional skills. I have to learn how to run an ad, how to post something on Facebook, how to do this.
Mm-hmm.
That's transactional. I can show how to set up a funnel. I can show you once. You'll always know how to set up a funnel.
Yeah.
You don't have to master how to click the buttons. No. But if I show you how to take a sales call, every single time you do that, there's something new to learn.
Yeah.
Every single time for the rest of your life. So don't expect transactional results from a transformational skill.
Damn.
And one thing you can't run away from sales. It's like
It's everywhere.
it pokes at you.
Everywhere.
You know? Even like you start to understand like who are you when you're with your family, who are you when you're with your girlfriend. It shows up in the call.
What's the first sale you make every day?
Pardon?
What's the first sale you make every day? Because you're selling every day.
Yeah,
but there's the first sale.
Waking up, my first alarm. That's my first sale.
The first sale right there.
Do I decide to wake up or sleep? And that's the first sale.
First sale you make every day is getting yourself out of bed. You wake up. Do I keep sleeping or do I not keep sleeping? That's the first sale.
The second one is that.
By the way, 89% of you, that's a proven stat, lose that sale. You sleep more. I do too half the time. Just saying. But my point is,
We're all human.
you start your day with a sale.
Yeah.
Are you being closed by the bed or are you closing the bed?
What's your closing rate?
What's your close rate?
In a month.
What's your close rate every month?
I love that.
You closing? Are you 6% or 62% like Eric and Zap and Brian?
Yeah.
right? Is the pillow closing you or are you closing the pillow? That's the question.
Well, Bulent is here. He says, hi, guys. Nice listening to you. We probably have time for one more question.
Yeah, we got, what, 5 minutes?
About 5 minutes, yeah. So there are so many things to monitor when making ads. How can I set it up easily? I'm overwhelmed. That question is from Sandra.
Say it one more time.
There are so many.
I want you to hear how the question was asked.
There are so many things to monitor when making ads.
Hold on. Context. There are so many things to monitor when making ads. There's a lot of moving variables. Next part of the question.
Yes. How can I set it up easily?
How do I do it without having so many things that monitor to set up this ad?
Yes. I'm overwhelmed. Pain.
Okay.
Sandra.
Okay. I'm in an airplane. There are so many buttons around me in the cockpit. How can I learn how to leverage all these buttons without getting overwhelmed?
Yeah.
There's only two ways. One way is not possible. The other one is the only way. The not possible way is you somehow make it easier by removing all the buttons. You can't do that. Because you can't take a difficult thing and make it easy. You can't take a complex thing and make it simple. I'm saying, like, if it requires that many variables.
Yeah.
Here's the only way to do it. The other way, the alternative, is you just learn. You learn until it's not overwhelming. What is overwhelm? When you're learning something new, and thus, the size of your cup can only handle this much water. The moment I start to add too much water and it gets to the top, you feel what? Overwhelmed.
Yeah.
The whelm is over.
Yeah.
You're over. Underwhelmed means you're bored. Overwhelmed means you're occupied mentally, which will always happen when you learn something new. There is no way you don't. And if you're not overwhelmed learning something new, you're not learning enough.
Yeah.
I'm not saying to aim to be overwhelmed. My point is that's a good thing. It means you're stretching what? The container size. That overwhelm will happen for a short period of time until what? You get it.
Yeah.
The moment you get it, how do you know you got it? When your container is expanded, you can handle more.
Mm-hmm.
And the more you expand your container, the more intelligent you become, the more capacity for knowledge you have, the more of a leader you become, the more rich you get. You can handle more. Overwhelm is a necessary part of the equation every time you learn something. Yeah. Do you know how overwhelmed I was looking at my Facebook dashboard the first time I learned? And there was two options. I had two choices. One is F this and run. Right? Like, screw this. I'm going to hire someone and waste my money with them.
Yeah.
I'm going to not learn this. I'm going to procrastinate. Or suck it up, buttercup, and learn.
Yeah.
Because the moment I learn, it won't be overwhelming anymore.
Facts.
And guess what I did? I spent an entire weekend, Saturday and Sunday, 12 hours each day, took all the courses on it, watched every video on it, sat there and just clicked everything until I understood where everything was, and I'm like, I get it now.
And then on Monday, he said, Jay, I understand Facebook ads. Took me the weekend,
Is Sandra in a
but I
program?
understand. No, she's not. It's not our Sandra. We have a Sandra, but it's not this Sandra.
I learned it in 2 days.
Yeah.
Now, I not only run my own ads, not only understand all of my ads, I run good ads, which is also another level of understanding, and I teach it.
4 things.
Okay? Took me 2
That
days.
started with overwhelm.
Started with overwhelm. I was actually like having a heart attack. I was
Yeah,
I'm like,
he's like,
numbers over malfunction. Like, it was actually scary. I was
like,
like,
man, there's a reason why I want to pay someone to do this.
yeah, like I'm like, I
yeah.
actually feel the pain of why people would outsource this. I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh my god, this is terrible. Now it's like a joke. Like every 2 weeks, I'll look at my ads. I'm like, oh, nice. It's brought us that many book calls. Up the budget. Like I literally take like 5 minutes to look at it. That's what I teach my clients in my program. Like you get to a point where like you just look at your ads like once a week. Like, oh, cool, nice.
Yeah.
I changed this. Oh, I'll make a new ad today. Okay. Running it is actually you have no idea how minuscule and how insignificant the task of running an ad is. It's actually stupid how easy it is. But because it's something new, you're going to feel overwhelmed. If I give you a Mandarin book right now to learn Mandarin, tell me, is there one person in this room like, oh, seriously, come on, let's go. Like, no way.
At least say ni hao.
I don't even know. Listen, I don't speak Mandarin. It's impossible for me to be offensive by doing that because I'm literally only doing what I know. So,
got it.
Right? Like I'm like, of course you're going to be overwhelmed with this new language.
Nice.
This is a new language.
Yeah.
God, like the real answer to this question is stop thinking being overwhelmed is the problem. You think there's a problem because there's an overwhelm.
Yes.
Okay. And here's the kicker. There is no easier way to do it. What was the question? How do I set up my ads in an easier way?
How can I set them up easily?
The same easy way anyone else learns it, by learning how to set them up.
Yeah.
Take a simple course, video, YouTube videos. There's YouTube videos that are 40 minutes long and show you everything. Okay? That's it. Learning how to set them up is not a problem. Manage them, run them, maintain them, scale them. Now, if this overwhelms you, you're fucked. That's what you want. If that overwhelms you, you don't get into ads. Because you don't have the emotional capacity to get... Like, I'm saying, don't be afraid of overwhelm. Yeah. That is a necessary variable in your growth. Mm-hmm. That's my answer.
I actually have something to say to that. I feel like where someone gets overwhelmed, because I remember learning sales, I got overwhelmed when my closing rate, not my closing ratio, my short reel was going high, and I'm like, I don't know. Yeah. It's kind of like freaking out. I feel like the only thing that helped me was coaching, setting the right expectation for myself, and also the motivation behind what I was doing.
That's a big one.
Like when it comes to like coaching, you obviously will be overwhelmed if you don't know. I'm going 58%. I don't know what's going on. I'm freaking out. I'm overwhelmed. I had a coaching with Callie. She's like, calm down. Just calm down. You see, so having the right mentorship and the right coaching kind of like, sets you right. Yeah. And then the expectation before you even start doing what you're doing. You think everything is supposed to go all right. I thought, I'm about to close. Everything is like progressing. And then another month, you just have what the hell is going on. Yeah. Setting the right expectation for yourself. And you always say it that it's going to be hard no matter what. It's going to be hard. Just sit down, put your seatbelt, and just enjoy the ride no matter what. And then just the motivation behind what you're doing. Yeah. You might hate doing ads, but for you hate. I bet maybe when you started, you hated it. But you always notice that, my vision is this, so let's do it.
Let me reverse all three of those. Those are very good points. The coaching one's obvious, but the other two. One, you only hate things you're bad at.
That's so true.
How true is this? You only hate things you're bad at, eh? Not always. Like, I'm sure someone's good at accounting, but you can't love that. But my point is, most of the time, you're hating something because you're bad at it. So you got to identify, is it because I suck? Or is it because I actually don't like this? Because I hated Facebook ads. I was actually so upset that a part of my program, I had to teach ads. Yeah. But I also was more upset if I had to teach people how to run around like chickens with their heads cut off on Facebook groups to build a business. So I'm like, I don't want to do that. I'm like, I have to master ads. Okay. And I did. And I remember how much I hated it at first. Yeah. Because I didn't know what I was doing. But then I saw the numbers rolling. Our first month running ads, I spent $4,700 and we did $34,000 in sales. First month running ads. And I think I only got 12 calls booked and we closed like 6, 7 of them. Yeah. It's fucking insane. Okay. I remember how much I started loving ads after that. Yeah. Because I look at the dashboard, I'm like, this dashboard is money. This dashboard is running my entire business. I control my destiny. Yeah. Because I know how to run these ads. Because I control how much lead volume comes into my business and how much money we make.
Control the numbers.
So now I start to really like ads. Yeah. So make sure you distinguish. Do you hate the thing you're doing? You're overwhelmed because you don't like this, or just generally because you are not good at it yet? Because if you're good at it, you'll start loving it. Number one. Number two, the other thing you said is expectations. I think that is the major thing. And just in business in general, it's like people get discouraged, defeated, they become negative, they complain, they quit, they fail. Not because of the actual circumstance, but because of their mental attitude towards it. Because nobody set the right expectations, so they have unrealistic expectations. Absolutely. You think everything should go well. Let me give you a quick little secret. Okay, ready? Everything goes fucking bad.
Everything will go wrong.
Every single time. Okay. Everything will go terribly bad. His first month of sales, I closed. He closed his first month. I was like, I'm going to do this much, and literally made no sales for the rest of the month. I had my first month in sales, $34,000. I'm like, next month we're doing 50.
How many did we do, Armin?
0 the next month. God in life has a funny way of building your character. Absolutely. The next month we got 0 sales and half the book calls. I'm like, man, and I spent more. Yeah. Money on ads. I'm like, reality check, right? Every time you think like your expectations like this is good. I'm not saying be pessimistic. I'm not saying that at all. Okay? Yeah. But understand, you're going to act as if everything is going to work out. That's called faith. While very much understanding that it doesn't matter if it's easy or hard. It doesn't matter if it works or doesn't the way you think. Be completely acceptant right now, accepting that it will probably go way different than you thought. But then leadership is your willingness to continue to persevere, even know that will happen.
Yeah.
Willingness is leadership is your willingness to continue to persevere, even knowing that will happen.
Yeah.
So knowing it will be hard. Like, you want a fast way to eliminate overwhelm right now from your mind of any, let's say you're doing something right now and it's like overwhelming you. You're just thinking about it. Like, I got to make an offer. I got to grow an audience. I got to build a webinar, whatever, something overwhelming you. Literally right now, do this for me in a split second. I promise you, like Houdini, it's going to disappear out of your mind. All the overwhelm. You ready? Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And simply accept that this shit's going to be hard. The moment you accept it's going to be hard, guess what happens immediately? All your expectations and unrealistic hope for it to be easy and please don't be hard, all that tension will disappear.
Yeah.
Because you've just accepted it will be hard. And magically, because you've accepted it's going to be hard, it's actually very ironic because it now starts to feel extremely easy.
Yeah.
Because you know it's going to be hard. So you're not faced with an opposite,
Absolutely.
an opposition with your expectation. Most of the pressure and stress and tension comes from your expectation it to be one way and it's not. Release that and actually expect it to be hard. Now, this feeling comes within you, almost like an excitement, because you're like, let's do it. Yeah. Literally, like a millisecond flip of your thinking, everything becomes easy. Now, want it to be easy, everything will feel extremely hard. One click of a button on Facebook dashboard will feel like 100. Expect it to be hundreds, and one click's like, oh, it's just a click. What am I really saying? What I'm saying is the secret to curing overwhelm, stress, tension, discouragement, fear is literally perspective. Perspective. Change your perspective. Change the way you look at things, and the things you look at will change. An overwhelming, confusing, and complex Facebook dashboard, if your perspective changed, will turn into a simple dashboard with ads on. What am I really, really, really saying? You completely, 1000% control your mental and emotional experience throughout any new thing you do by controlling the way you perceive it. What am I really, 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 really saying? You need to join speaking clients. That's what I'm doing. We can do one more question if you want.
Well, let me take a second look at the comments. Okay. So Marie actually asked a question, but we're going to come back to it. Bulan says, everything is easy when you know, and everything is hard when you don't know. Marie also continued on to say that it's the fear I felt when I was writing my first book without knowing what to do and how to do it. This time I didn't even know somebody who published a book in my cycle. It was fear. My takeaway is to create a recording to send to people before I speak to them. This will even be a wonderful marketing price. I love that you are putting your takeaways in the chat, by the way. I appreciate that, Marie. She also said, true, I love mathematics because I know it. And I have many friends who hate math to the point that they feel sick to even talk about it.
Math! Imagine.
That is true.
Change the way you look at things you look at change. Thank you for coming inside of the camera. You're very serious. Thank you. What are you really, really, really saying? But her question was, above, one sec, what do you do in case your client refuses to give you a testimonial? It took one of my clients 7 years to publicly speak up about how I helped her to overcome her suicidal mindset.
What?
How do you get it? Basically, like, she's asking, how do you get a client to do a testimonial even if they don't want to? Or they're not comfortable?
I've already answered that. Your mistake was not pre-framing them.
Yeah.
And I won't move forward with coaching unless they're okay with it.
Yeah. Awesome.
And worst case, move on. Screw them.
It's like sales. There's something that you did before.
I remember I helped somebody. It's been so long now that it doesn't even matter at this point. I remember they were very antsy and I don't want you. I don't like. They were pretty much egotistical and didn't want to admit that someone helped them. God forbid someone actually helped the person do something.
Yeah.
It's gonna mean they're a piece of crap. Like stupid. And they said that to my mistake was again I didn't pre-frame it. So when I came to ask for it, I thought it was implied, and they were all like weird about it. Like, oh, but like you didn't really help me that much. I'm like, no, I help you make $25,000 in a weekend. So,
Come on.
it's been over a year and a half. I could say it. We helped this person make 25 grand in a weekend just using our simple like presentations, scripts, and how to run an event. Like we helped them make some good money. That's more than they make like ever in that period of time. And when I came to ask for a simple video testimony, they were like, give me a whole like spiel about like just some bullshit. And I read it, I'm like, what a shitty person. It is what it is. I'm like, you're a shitty person. I worked with this person like for months, one-on-one, went the extra mile. I'm like, you turn around, you're reluctant to give a bit of credit to a coach who actually helped you do some shit you've never done. Oh, well, here's the thing. I felt bad for the person because I'm like, that's such a poor mentality. You're so afraid. Yeah. And I remember at that time, they're like, my goal is to do 300 grand in a year. And I was coaching them. So I'm like, you could do a lot more than that. You're smart. I'm like, you're really good at this. You could do that, in like 6 months. You can make $1 million if you wanted to. I'm like, why not aim for higher? No, I just want 300. To this day, they haven't made 300 still. And we do that much in a few months in sales. That's the difference between thinking and poor versus rich mentality. It's not about the person's, not just about money, it's mentality. So that person may not have given me, and I actually eventually I think a couple months later, I got some bullshit ass, half-ass interview with the person. And I didn't even want to use it. Because I'm like, you could tell they're like trying so hard to resist giving credit. And I'm like, this is a shitty test to interview, So ingenuine. This person, I'm like, what kind of a person is this? And so what did I do? I just moved on. I'm like, I'm going to go make so many testimonials and results. I don't need yours. And that's exactly what I did. That's it. You move on. There's always going to be some people like this. The goal is pre-frame it so that you find them in advance and you don't waste your time with them. Okay. Because again, half of the marketing value that comes out of you, coaching people is that the results can be used to inspire others. So if they take that away from you, the only thing you gained from it is money. The person's money paying you for it. I think the money a client pays me is less valuable than the results I can help them get that I can showcase. Okay. So just move on and just don't let it happen again. Be smart. Next time you work with somebody, you actually move that, you make sure you qualify in advance if they're going to be like this or not. Okay. Just stay away from people that, if you and be that person yourself first. Give testimonials like crazy. Yeah. That's how I am. Shout out to that person.
Awesome. Well, we can do another question or we can wrap up. It's about 1:12. Not yet, no. Apart from that.
What's my next call? Is it 2?
I believe it is at 2.
Is it 2? How long have you been live? Is the show?
It's 1:12.
Cool.
So I think we've gone about an hour now because we started a little late.
Did you ask a question that last time we hooked them on to watch this time? Remember last time you asked the question? I'm like, next time.
Yes. Yeah, I did.
Do that, did you?
I did.
Oh, you did? Okay, we answered it. So what's in the next question? Let me see. If it's short, I'll answer. If it's not, we'll hook it.
Got it. Sorry, Marie just commented. She said, and I just thought I laughed because it just sounds stupid. But she said, true, I asked her why she refused to give me a testimonial. She told me that she was not ready, and she believed God is the one who will thank me. Other than that, it was ego. Thank you.
It's all bullshit.
But the next question will be...
By the way,
yeah.
In those scenarios, if you have got this person results, and they're just a piece of crap like that, you know what you should do? If you haven't written anything from them that shows that you helped them, screenshot that shit, use it. That is your right as a coach.
Yeah.
You worked for that, okay? I remember with this person, I got unlucky because they never texted me anything. They sent me a fucking voice note about how they did 25K in sales. I'm like, oh, God, I wish I got this written. So I could technically take it and make an audiogram, but my ego was like, screw this.
Yeah.
My point is though, if you try to written everything, like don't even like this is what they deserve. Okay? Because they're doing some shit that's I don't think is morally right. They know a person's helped them. But because of their insecurities, like, okay, so in that case, it's not your business that they're like this. Okay? And if you help them actually get the result, you have every right to showcase your work. End of story. So you know what you should do? Like you could ask them something like, all right, cool, no problem. Well, how you been since our last call or something? Oh, I've been like, what would you say like changed your life the most from working together? You know, I just want to know how I've helped you. And they'll write some shit. Take that screenshot. Good to go. And then if you do a webinar video or whatever, just show that screenshot, like, and we help this person do X, Y, Z theory. And you say it, but then you have a piece of the real part where they texted you, and that's what I had to do with this one because I actually used I think a video, and then I just said like we helped them do 25K.
Yeah.
But at least I had some pictures and whatever and something to prove that we worked with them. So get what you can for, but pre-frame, man, this is the most important thing. You guys don't pre-frame, and it gets all awkward at the end. It's also like that's how sales calls get ruined too. You don't start it with knowing that at the end I'm going to offer you something. Like you're afraid. You're like, oh, I'm not pitching anything. Are you joking? If someone's like, is this a sales process? Absolutely it is. If you have a problem, I'm going to solve it for you. But if you're unwilling to pay for a solution to solve your problem, we're not going to work together anyway. So let me know now.
Yeah.
You know how when we pre-call people before a call, hey, make sure you watch the homework video. By the way, you do understand this is not a free opportunity. We're going to work with you to help you make a lot of money and grow your business. Are you open to an investment? Oh, I don't know. Okay, then don't talk to us.
Yeah.
What the hell are you trying to do? What are you calling us for? Are you calling to solve it because you actually have a problem? Or because you're just like thinking, it's nice to have a solution. Yeah. So like pre-frame, okay? Beginning the call. If everything makes sense, I'm going to offer you our program and you can decide to be part of it or not. You go pre-frame. It's respect principles. Same with the coaching. I'm going to ask for a testimonial. The first video in my welcome video in my program, when students come in and watch, I say, I want to interview you.
Yeah. So
at any moment you get results like, I'm going to interview you. Set the expectation.
Armin, what do you think is the most important thing to learn in sales? Because I was wanted to ask you this. I think it's good for everyone to know, because I read it from a book and I'm like, oh man, everything like crack open. You know that moment. So what do you think is like the most important thing to learn in sales?
That's a very broad
really,
question.
Really good at objections. Like
okay.
Get really, really good before you even get to the objections, like the conversation of the call. What do you think is the most important thing to be?
That's a trick question, because objections are a result of poor conversation.
So what's the most important thing?
Most important. So you're saying what's more important?
Yeah.
Learning how to handle objections after price, or learning how to talk to the prospect before price?
Exactly.
Okay, well, talking to the prospect before price.
But no one knows that though. I thought it was different until I read the book and then Callie and then you, and I'm like,
yeah. People are like, let me rush through the questions and then I'll say the price, and then they're gonna give me all these objections. No. If you got objections at the end of the call, and I'm not saying it's okay to have objections, that's good. That's buying questions indirectly. But if you have a lot, or you have ones that are obvious, that like, why are you getting them? You did a bad job talking to them first.
Yeah.
So a great closer will overcome every objection in the conversation. So by the time the price comes up, the question is, how can I pay, and do you have options?
Because there's a difference between objections and concerns.
Yes.
The only questions that should be getting is like concerns, like, okay, so how long is the program? Okay, and then like you just move
like questions. I call them questions.
I call them buying questions.
They're buying questions. So how long is it? How long does it take? Oh, will this, like, I'm a very unique offer. Will it work for me? Yeah. Well, don't worry. Like, it's work. So those are questions. They're buying questions. An objection is uncertainty hidden. Yeah. Okay. It's a hidden uncertainty.
I should. I'm
uncertain in me and you and this and that. Okay. I mean, if Ian's watching, like Ian is a perfect example. We overcame every possible uncertainty you could have. Will this work? Yes. Does it work for others? Yes. Can it work for me? Yes. Am I good at what I do? Yes. Is this gonna is this the best in the work? Yes. What was the last objection Ian had? Ian, you know this and I know this, and that's why we decided not to work together. Is you still need to work on the uncertainty in yourself. Am I gonna do this? Well, I realize the right thing to do is give you more time to go do your own thing and build yourself up before you start taking on a whole business method, right? So it's really just, objections are just uncertainty, hidden uncertainties. And if you can't make them certain in the pre-call process and during the call before the price, that's you having to master that process. You can't learn something.
There's also like I started to notice, like even in sales before we even leave, it's like a language. It's like you're learning a whole new language.
Yeah.
Essentially.
It's a type of communication.
Because like if I was having like a coaching, like let's just say someone broke Jay's heart and I'm speaking with her, the questions will automatically come in my head, right?
That's why I remember.
The questions. What to
My
say?
man, Armin.
What to
How many
say?
men do I send?
What to say to give her a breakthrough? The questions will come in my head.
Yeah.
But since we're learning something new, which is like a script, first thing that I noticed is that the most important for everyone and how it helped me is understand the script. And as soon as you understand the script, because the last level of like sales is that you have to understand it is a conversation.
Yeah.
But you can't have a conversation. I can't speak with you. I can't speak English with you if I don't understand English. Yeah. It's going to be very, very difficult.
Yeah, so, one of the biggest things that Eric and Brian said that you know how we helped them go from 6% closing rate to 62% doing 20K in 3 weeks is the biggest thing in their interview, and it's actually in the high ticket coaching community. The interview, if you scroll down, the biggest thing they said in the interview was like, we didn't know what we were doing on the call. So we get on the call, and we didn't know what the goal was, what to ask. We literally just ask them what they think at the end, and like tell them our program, and then they'd be like, and they completely misunderstood the process of what a real strategy call is.
Yeah.
And when they got our script, they got our training, they got our coaching, they finally understood how off they were, and they're like, we're getting on the call with the wrong approach, wrong mindset, wrong. It's not just what am I saying, like how am I saying it, why am I saying it, all these things. Mm-hmm. We helped them with that, and that's how they closed 10 out of 15 instead of 1 out of 10. That's a huge thing, man. Like people don't actually understand why, and that's why I respect Callie, because even Callie.
Shout out Callie.
Yeah, shout out to Callie. Even her, like she's got millions of dollars on high ticket sales and phone. And when we talk, one thing I definitely agree with her on is like, I think a good salesperson needs to understand why they ask what they ask. If they don't, they're just literally like blindly like shooting in the dark and hitting sales by accident.
It's like the intention.
They don't even know why they're asking it.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous.
They just have a collection of objection handles, closing lines, and things like that, but they don't understand the purpose behind it.
And that's something you cannot learn. You cannot learn why only, because you have to deeply understand it. That's called like experience and wisdom, and that only comes from like close analysis, reflection.
The levels that I'm going through is like you have to understand the why, because when you tell me something, when I ask you a question and you say it, now I'm understanding. Okay, so he said this to me. Why is he saying that?
Why?
But then, more importantly, not understand that, okay, I'm understanding the why to such a deeper level because I've been practicing. Now I'm understanding when they tell me this, what's the feeling behind what they're telling me? Yeah. Because someone could say, I could make $10,000, and you're like, okay, cool. But then the feeling was a little bit uncertain. So you want to test that. Because that could be a problem if they come into the program. What if they don't believe they could make it $10,000? And then that becomes a secret objection that you're having at the end of the call. Yeah. So that's why it's so important to have a coach. I cannot believe that someone could like start a business or start sales or anything like that, and you don't know how. Yeah. That is the most scariest thing to me. You don't know how.
I'm at a point in my life.
You guys should see Isaiah's face.
You don't know.
He's like, you don't understand.
You don't know how. So how can you possibly think you could build a business and there's so many things that you've never ever done before?
Yeah.
Man, I'm at a point in my life where I'm like, I don't know how anyone does anything without a coach now.
Coach or mentor.
I actually don't get it. I'm past the point of like you could do something on your own. Doesn't mean you're weak or stupid or vulnerable. No, none of this shit. I just don't understand where the idea of self-learning, self-growing, self-something, completely independent of teachers, mentors, and coaches came from.
It's very true.
It's so bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, how'd you learn how to speak today? You had teachers in school. How'd you learn how to count? You had teachers in school. How'd you learn, if you're in a business, how'd you learn that? If you're successful, you had mentors and coaches. Yeah. If you have good morals and good ethics, where'd you learn that? Your parents probably. Like, why would you think that something in your life would be exempt from that rule?
Yeah. Reading books. How do you... That's someone's knowledge that you're reading. So
you know what I mean?
You did not do it by yourself. It's so interesting.
No, but even reading, bro, like, you could get tricky, right? Like, I remember reading Think and Grow Rich the first time ever and thinking I know what it's saying because the way I was reading it was from my paradigm of what I thought everything was about. Yeah. So I'd read to see what I wanted.
Absolutely.
Then I went and, like, started teaching Think and Grow Rich, getting mentored by the president of Think and Grow Rich, like, studying Napoleon's work. Now I read Think and Grow Rich. I'm reading it again, Law of Success, and I'm reading it like completely open book and really letting Napoleon speak to me. I'm like, that wouldn't have happened without years of mentorship and understanding this philosophy. Like, conversations and coaching. Like, it's just.
I mean, even saying that, have you read Think and Grow Rich now? And then it's like you could feel the feeling of how it would have felt of him writing it.
Yeah.
Have you felt that?
Well, sometimes I read it and I think he's writing to me.
Sometimes I'm reading, I'm like, it's so powerful. Like, while reading out loud, I'm like, oh my God, it's like I'm preaching or something. Because I could feel the feeling of him like writing it and the emotion that he put into the words to put it together. It's very interesting when you start reading it third time.
All right, guys, so let's wrap it up.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in to Clear Talk. This is the #1 show for coaches who want clarity on their mindset and in their business. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you hit that subscribe button on YouTube and the little notification bell so you can get notified every time we drop new videos every week. If you're in our High Ticket Coaching Community Facebook group, then make sure you drop some hearts and likes below. Let us know your #1 takeaway from today's episode. And if you're on YouTube as well, do the same thing. If you're watching the replay and you got till the end, you're awesome. Don't forget that. And comment #replay so we can know. And comment #finished, okay? So now we know you finished the episode with us.
You stayed for the whole thing.
If you want to get your questions answered live on the show and not have to wait in queue, like we always ask your questions that are posted on askarmin.com. So Mary, Ian, how many other people ask questions? Oscar. If you want questions answered, go to Ask Armin. Maybe sometimes I think there's a glitch. We got to check if that integration's working.
Let's double check.
Go to askarmin.com and submit your questions there so we can put you in the queue and we'll shout you out and everything as well. Love you guys so much. Thanks for watching. We go live every Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. So join us next week. Go on and make the rest of your week the best of your week.